Hey everyone, Josh here again with Penny Pinching Cyclists, and today I'm going to show you how to make some very simple items that will help improve your skill on a bike. And now these items can even be used by kids. My own two sons ride on these obstacles all the time, and it's helped them develop their balance and confidence on a bike. These items are extremely easy to build, they're cheap to make, and they're easy to transport, so you don't even have to go to the mountains to become a better mountain biker. You can use these in your backyard, your front yard, you can bring them to a park, you can put them out on the street. But let's get to it. I'm going to start with the easiest of all of them, which is just a simple 2x4. I was able to get this one for just $1 at Lowe's because it was in their discard pile. But this gives you an opportunity to practice your skinnies and practice your lateral bunny hops, practice even your drops. You know, even though this is only 1.5 inches off the ground, you can still get the movement down with very little consequence of falling. You can practice jumping onto the 2x4 and riding off, jumping over it. There's a load of different things that you can do with just a simple 2x4. So next up are what I call ladder bridges. I picked up all the wood for these ladder bridges at Lowe's for under $3. Again, this was in their 25-cent pile. So just make sure you know where that discount pile is at your local hardware store. Both Lowe's and Home Depot have these. They're typically in the back where the lumber is. So the material that you use for these can vary. Again, in that pile there was 2x3s and 1x3s. So that's just what I used. I cut the 2x3s in half because I wanted to make two shorter ladder bridges. And then I just cut the 1x3s at 16 inches long so that they'd be wide enough for my kids to ride on. And so all you had to do was set up a stop block on the miter saw, cut a bunch of the 1x3s at 16 inches, and then screw them on. And then I just used a piece of wood to get even spaces between them. And that was it. So next up is the kicker ramp, and this one's the most labor intensive and the most expensive. It costs about $15 to make, and all you need to get is a 2x4 sheet of plywood at least 5/8 thick, and I picked this one up for $10. And then you're also going to need a box of screws. They can be 1 1/4 or even 1.5 inch screws, and then you're going to need a 2x2, and that's about $2. So for about 15 bucks and a little bit of elbow grease, you can make this kicker ramp. And so the height of your kicker ramp can vary. I already have an 8-inch ramp, so I wanted to make one a little bit bigger at 10 inches. So I just measured 10 inches along the 4-foot length of my sheet of plywood. And then I took a long piece of flexible wood to get the curve on it. And I simply just used a quick clamp to clamp one end of it and then put a slight bend in that piece of wood and traced it. I then cut the 10 inches off and then cut the arc of the ramp. And once I had that first piece cut, I laid it on top of the other one, marked it out, and cut that off so that I had two pieces exactly the same. So then I cut the 2x2 support pieces. I opted to make mine 16 inches wide. So I just set up a stop block and cut those out until I had 4 pieces. Now you're going to screw everything together. So start by laying everything out, and then you're going to screw the bottom back support in first. It helps if you have an extra set of hands or a clamp to hold things together. So once you have that together, turn the ramp around, and you can either use somebody else or a clamp to help you screw in the next support piece. What you want to do is make sure that the piece of wood matches the curvature of the ramp. Once you have that screwed in, put in the other 2 support pieces equally throughout the ramp and screw it together. You can have your little helpers do that like I did. So once you have it all screwed together, measure out how wide your ramp is, and then transfer that measurement onto the remainder of your sheet of plywood. Mark that out and then cut it to size. Once you have that done, take your ramp and mark the center point of those 2x2s. Draw lines across where the supports are. Go ahead and screw it together. I like to start at the top and then the bottom, and then do the center while standing on it so that it helps bend to the form of the ramp. And then once you have it all screwed together, you're done with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you found this video informative, give it a like, and please comment with some of the obstacles that maybe you build, some of the things that you ride on to help improve your mountain bike skills, because I personally want to get better. So maybe there's something out there that one of you guys can teach me. I'd be appreciative of that. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram or Facebook at Penny Pinching Cyclist. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.